Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. March has barely begun, but the wrestling world's busier than ever. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Wednesday Night War ratings, the first casualty of WWE's new Superstar policy, a recently released WWE Superstar enjoying free agency, is Chris Jericho taking a break from AEW, Samoa Joe's dream opponent, Ronda Rousey spotted at WWE headquarters, and more. Wednesday Night War ratings. The WWE was ready to counter-program the 4th March edition of Dynamite, which followed AEW's Revolution pay-per-view on NXT, scheduling 2 big cage matches on the Black and Gold brand. In the end, NXT brought in 718,000 viewers compared to Dynamite's 906,000 viewers, once again making Dynamite victorious. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online's Paul Fontaine broke things down, noting, Dynamite averaged 906,000 viewers, up 4.7% from last week. Even better, the show was up 16.7% in the 18 to 49 demo, averaging a .35 rating and finishing 5th on cable for the night in that category. NXT ratings were essentially the exact same as last week. The show averaged 718,000 viewers, up from 1,000 last Wednesday. In the 18 to 49 demo, NXT had a .23 rating, identical to last week. NXT finished 20th on cable in that demo. NXT needs to step up their game if they want to compete with Dynamite, which has been on a roll of late, and is only going to get hotter considering the upcoming debut of Lance Archer, the appearance of Jake the Snake Roberts, and the rumored signings of Matt Hardy and Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. The time for talking about a marathon, not a sprint, is over, and the promotion, simply put, needs to get off its ass and go into overdrive, capitalizing on whatever bounce they can get from WrestleMania. Ronda Rousey sighting at WWE headquarters. Guess who showed up at WWE headquarters recently? Wrestling's baddest woman on the planet was tagged by current WWE Superstar and fellow MMA fighter Cain Velasquez, with the UFC great tweeting a picture of him and Rousey. Had the pleasure of running into the pioneer that definitely also inspired my interest in the sport. Great to see you, Ronda Rousey. While this could just be a case of Rowdy Ronda visiting WWE headquarters to say hey, it could also be a sign that Rousey is preparing for a return to WWE. Unfortunately, she's been keeping things ambiguous when it comes to when she'll actually return, telling fans and the media that she will return, just she's not sure when. Samoa Joe's dream opponent. While he's currently cooling off thanks to a wellness policy suspension, Samoa Joe is thinking about the future, including the superstar he hopes to wrestle somewhere down the road. Speaking to Sport Bible, the Samoan submission machine was asked if he'd like to wrestle The Undertaker. Absolutely. You know, I think the things that especially now that I appreciate about Taker's work are much more on display now than they probably ever have been. And yeah, I would be down to get down with Taker, whether it would be now or whenever in the future. A matchup between Joe and Taker could be a wild brawl, and it's easy to imagine both men tearing up the ring in an action-packed brawl. While Joe would like to battle The Undertaker, he's not sure if it'll ever happen. You know, timing is probably one of the greatest regrets that I think you can have in this business. And for the timing not to match up where me and the dead man could have crossed one another in the ring and got down, it's probably one of the unfortunate checks that I won't be able to mark off my bucket list. With Undertaker semi-retired, it has been hard for many opponents to get the opportunity to wrestle the future Hall of Famer. Considering Samoa Joe's recent rash of injuries and his wellness policy violation, it seems doubtful he'd be considered a top opponent for the dead man, unless Taker were to request Joe as an opponent, much as he reportedly did with AJ Styles. WWE Backstage ratings revealed. WWE Backstage's ratings for the 3rd March episode initially drew a pathetic 18,000 viewers, an all-time low for the show. However, PW Insider is reporting, in an update and correction, the 3/3 episode of WWE Backstage on FS1, featuring Jeff Hardy and JBL appearing, actually brought in 56,000 overnight viewers. The 18,000 figure was apparently the show's 2 a.m. replay. While this number is better than originally reported, it's still the show's 2nd lowest rating. Chris Jericho taking time off from AEW? Wrestling fans know Chris Jericho has interests other than wrestling and that his rock band Fozzy takes up some of his time. Ringside News recently posted a schedule of Fozzy's upcoming tour, and it appears Le Champion is going to be very busy in April, May, July, and August touring with Fozzy. Diamond Dave Meltzer suggested Jericho tease leaving AEW during the 4th March edition of Dynamite in order to lay the groundwork for a future sabbatical. If you missed it, Jericho told Jon Moxley he would leave AEW for 60 days if he lost his tag match to the new AEW champion, something that didn't happen thanks to interference from the Inner Circle. However, using the power of the Gregorian calendar, Wrestlelamia has determined that with one exception, Fozzy is not playing any dates on Wednesdays, which presumably leaves Jericho free to appear on Dynamite. Matt Hardy discusses why he left WWE. Matt appeared on Busted Open Radio to discuss his departure from the WWE. As always, Matt thanked WWE for the many opportunities they gave him, but noted, "Nothing against them, it was just time for me to go somewhere else to maximize and optimize my creativity, especially if I want to be in a prominent role for the last 3 or 4 years that I have left to do this." Considering that Matt's style of wrestling has taken a heavy toll on his body, it's good he admits his time in the ring is wearing down. Some performers continue wrestling long after their bodies have all but broken down. Matt told Busted Open Radio, "I'm looking to have a much bigger say in my creative process. I want to be utilized in a way that I should be utilized for a 45-year-old that's been doing this for 20 years. Not wrestling every single night, your character takes the priority to your athletic performance. That's what I want. If I can find that atmosphere, I call that my Arcadia." It appears Matt is heading to AEW, something our next story seems to provide further evidence for. Matt Hardy, casualty of Wednesday Night War? As Wrestlelamia reported in our last news video, the WWE has informed promoters that they will not send WWE Superstars to any show featuring AEW talent. That means that autograph conventions, comic book conventions, and such will have to decide whether they want WWE Superstars or AEW Superstars. The first casualty of WWE's war with AEW appears to be Matt Hardy, who was scheduled for an appearance on Saturday at the Big Event Wrestling Convention. While Matt, or AEW for that matter, hasn't discussed signing with AEW, Matt's been pulled from the event, suggesting the WWE suspects Matt has or will sign, or that they've confirmed he's signed with AEW. During a recent edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave "Tuna" Meltzer reported, "I pretty much heard on Tuesday that he's probably not showing up on Wednesday. Then I found out that Terry Funk is replacing him on that convention. So I guess they must have pushed the idea that even though he's not on TV, he's an AEW guy, so he can't come. So as far as I know, he's not going to that thing on Saturday, which was supposed to be his first appearance outside of WWE. But yeah, I don't know which week he's coming in, but obviously it's pretty much happening." Vince McMahon's tactics could end up backfiring as AEW grows in popularity and promoters have to choose between AEW stars and WWE superstars. Short of WWE sending main event stars, fans may see more AEW stars appearing at all but the biggest conventions. Convention promoters may also take a stand against WWE, which would make the situation embarrassing for Vinnie Mac, whose biggest concern may be having AEW stars lure away WWE stars, at least those who aren't signed to the promotion for the next 30 years. Big guests scheduled for Friday night Smackdown. The 6th March edition of Smackdown will feature 3 big guest stars, with WWE.com announcing, yes, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Sean Waltman will be guests on Alexa Bliss's lively talk show, A Moment of Bliss. What will the legendary and controversial group have to say ahead of their induction into the Hall next month during WrestleMania weekend? Find out this Friday night at 8/7 Central on Fox. As Wrestlelamia is sure you know, this legendary trio, along with Hollywood Hulk Hogan, are being inducted into this year's WWE Hall of Fame for their role in the New World Order. Smackdown Preview. Speaking of the Blue brand, WWE.com has a preview for the show. Bray Wyatt will host a special edition of the Firefly Funhouse. Lacey Evans and Naomi will battle Bayley and Sasha Banks in a rematch from last week's tag team bout. A tag team gauntlet match will be held between the Usos, The New Day, Heavy Machinery, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, The Lucha House Party, and The Miz and John Morrison, with the winner getting to enter last at Sunday's Elimination Chamber match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Looks like Friday should be a strong show leading into Sunday's pay-per-view. Speaking of Elimination Chamber, be sure to check out our predictions for the show, as well as our recap and analysis of the event on Sunday. Paige recovering after surgery. Former WWE Divas champion and current WWE TV personality Paige was recently hospitalized for emergency surgery to remove an ovarian cyst. However, the anti-diva tweeted an update to the fans. Just an update, I'm fine you guys, no more pain and healthy AF. Haha, just another small speed bump, I'm used to it, haha, so thankful for Ronnie Radke. Wrestlelamia wishes Paige a fast and full recovery. Recently released WWE Superstar enjoying free agency. Former Ascension member Connor was recently released from the WWE, but he doesn't look to be signing with anyone soon. During a chat with Wrestling Inc., he talked about enjoying free agency. So originally, Vic and I, we're just taking it how it is right now, as far as just trying to enjoy it. For me personally, I told Vic kinda where my head was at and I was just like, I don't want to answer to nobody. I've been answering to people for 10 years, and it's just kinda nice to just do your own thing. It's nice to be able to not have to do something you don't want to do, and so right now, I'm just kind of enjoying the moment. But as far as offers and things like that, there's been some pretty cool things that have possibly been going on. Connor explained he'll eventually return to TV, just not yet. The interesting interview revealed that he and tag team partner Victor spent nearly 9 months at home receiving paychecks because WWE told them they had nothing for them to do. Do you think the Ascension could work in a different promotion? Be sure to leave your comments below. Jim Ross discusses getting involved with AEW. The latest edition of AEW's new podcast, AEW Unrestricted, features an appearance from WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross. The 68-year-old announcer talked about how he became involved with AEW, noting it happened long before the promotion's launch. According to JR, he met up with Tony Khan at the G1 Special Wrestling event. Ross was staying at the same hotel as Khan and, "We partied over the weekend, and we talk a little bit about wrestling. Strategic, what I would do if I did this, I wouldn't do that if I own a company type deal, just shooting the breeze, right, that's all." I had no idea there's somewhere in his very able mind that Tony's already thinking about something like AEW. One thing led to another, and as Ross recalls, "We became friends and the decision was made. He said, I know what we're going to build and I want you to be here. So I don't know if I was the first person hired. However, I can tell you I was in the first 5 people hired." Tony Khan has made some good decisions in building AEW, and its commentary team of Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Excalibur has proved to be one of its biggest assets, helping to advance storylines and update fans on why matches count and why certain moves are more effective than others. Bill Goldberg's latest TV guest role. Last but not least, here's the latest instance of a WWE superstar appearing on TV. When he's not destroying the WWE's hottest act in years, part-time performer Bill Goldberg keeps busy acting. Fans of NCIS Los Angeles and Big Bad Bill should check out this tweet from the WWE. Universal Champion Goldberg guest stars on NCIS LA as DOJ agent Lance Hamilton, who is trying to track down a missing undercover agent. According to Ringside News, the episode airs on Sunday, 8th March. Well guys, there you have it, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. What do you think about these wild stories? Be sure to leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.